and welcome back to ringside at the Festival Hall in Basildon, Essex, UK, where we're getting geared up for the main event of the evening between Chris Eubank and Ron Malek. There we go, main event, 8 3-minute rounds, the unbeaten Chris Eubank going for his 16th straight professional victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the main event of the evening, all your officials are appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representative is Phil Langren. Your house seconds are Charlie Smith and Jason King. Your medical officers are Doctors McGrath and Bishop. Your inspectors are Fred Breyer and Ron Pudney. And your whip and ringmaster Sandy Risley, with your matchmaker Darky Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, Yalco Properties are proud to present the main event of the evening at middleweight contest at 11 stone 10 pounds over 8 3-minute rounds. Introducing in the red corner with the black shorts from the United States of America, Ron Malek. And his opponent in the blue corner with the white shorts from Brighton, Chris Eubank. At the weigh-in of 1 o'clock today, Malek scaled 11 stone 6.5 pounds, Eubank 11 stone 8 pounds. Your referee for the contest is Roy Francis, and your timekeeper Danny Peacock.
So just a pound and a half in it, not much at this weight. 8 3-minute rounds. The instructions from the third man in the ring, referee Roy Francis, and the eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation. He looks a good fight, doesn't he, Ron Malek, Jim? So Chris Eubanks is a cagey fighter who can box, who can bang, and who has high hopes for himself on the world scene. And Ron Malek, Jim, just getting a look at him, he's got that sort of angular bone structure that leads you to think he might cut easy.
If he does cut, I'm sure Chris Eubanks will make him cut, because Chris is a cutting puncher, and he's got a very unusual style, which you can see now. But he's such a deep thinker, and I think Malek's going to think after about a minute of this guy's strange, but he can really fight.
Well, he is, as the fight unwinds, and if we get the chance to see the full repertoire of Eubanks' moves, he is not your sort of crash bang wallop fighter. Every punch he thinks about before he throws it. He thinks a good fight and he fights a good fight as well. Yeah, he's no mug.
He's a very good thinker.
In fact, there is a school of thought that says that fighters who think too much don't do themselves any good.
I've just noticed Chris has got a little nick on his left eye.
Well, Lord knows how that was called, because Malek has hardly thrown a punch up. Well, that's just falling over his own feet, and he has, right in the corner of his left eye. Well, I can only put that down to heads, Jim, because Malek hasn't thrown a punch.
That's right. I think Malek's cut as well.
On the left eye again?
Yeah.
That's got to be heads then.
That's 1-0.
Well, we'll talk about drama in the first round. Scarcely a minute gone and both men cut.
Yeah, that was undoubtedly a clash of heads when they come off the rope.
Both on the left eye. Well, we saw cut drama in our last Pro Box Barry Hearn promotion between Mark Reefer and John Sachula, and we've got an identical set of circumstances here in Basildon tonight. I've got to say, neither cut looks too bad, and that's good news. They're both in the corner of the eye, which they may open up and look bad, but it's the cuts above the eye that'll worry, because then the blood comes down into the eye, and that causes all sorts of problems with vision. But at the moment, the blood looks a bit gory, but it's coming down the cheek, and that's harmless. So really the only thing hurt at the moment is the dignity of both boys.
Malek stalking him and thinking, what the hell have I got in front of me?
Yeah. I've come 5,500 odd miles for this. Well, you've got to give that round to Eubank, because, well, basically we've gone Malek hardly threw a punch in that opening round, but we've got 2 cuts for Darky Smith and Greg Gorrell to work on. There's Ron Malek, unranked, of course, in Great Britain by Boxing Monthly. There's his record: 31 fights, 17 wins, 13 defeats, 1 draw. He stopped 13 opponents and been stopped by 8. Greg Gorrell, the man applying the Vaseline, and you can just see the hands of Darky Smith. They're working on Chris Eubank's cut. Rated number 1 by Boxing Monthly, and a perfect record: 15 fights, 15 wins, 6 of them inside the distance. I can remember I was talking to Jim Watt about unbeaten records once, Jim, and he said, well, they're a two-edged sword. There can be a bit of a millstone around your neck, an unbeaten record, but on the other hand, unbeaten fighters tend to think of themselves as unbeatable. Yeah,
well, I can speak from experience. I went unbeaten for like over 6 years, and it is a burden to carry every time you step in there, you know, and it takes a lot of pressure off you when you do lose it eventually. But having said that, I hope Eubanks don't lose these tonight.
It was a shame to lose it, as you lost yours in a world title fight.
Yeah, of all fights.
Well, anyway, you've got that out of the way now. You're set fair for November the 5th.
Let's get it on.
But more to the point, this is October the 4th, and we're in Basildon. Jim McDonnell's fight a month away. And interestingly enough, Chris Eubank had his first fight 4 years and 1 day ago, 3rd of October 1985. That was against Tim Brown in Atlantic City over 4 rounds, and Chris won on points.
So we can say Chris has faced the American guys before then?
Certainly has. Well, that was a good left, and that came out of nowhere, and that rocked the American back. And you can almost see Eubank's thought processes at work as he opens them up with these little combinations, the jabs, changes the direction of attack, moves in. Look how well he's using the ring in this round. Now, they say you should dominate the centre of the ring, and Malek's in the centre of the ring right now, but Eubank changing the angle of his attack all the time. He's opened up another little nick now on the American's left cheek, so the American cut twice. Corner of the left eye and left cheek. Eubank's own cut, that little nick in the corner of his left eye, caused by the clash of heads in the first round, not giving him any problems so far in the second.
Chris is a thinker, and he's giving Malek plenty to think about himself.
Well, we've been only going for a round and a half, and the American's starting to look very, very careworn. He's starting to get a swelling up on his left cheek now, in addition to that cut. Eubanks just has a look. Thinks, what's it going to be next? The right. Almost fights in slow motion sometimes, Chris.
Yeah, he seems to be doing everything at his own pace, and he does it against good fighters as well, and this Malek certainly leads up to that. He looks like he's a tough pro, and he's going to make Chris work.
Well, no doubting at all that Malek has won, or rather Malek has lost the opening 2 rounds. And the work continues in Chris Eubank's corner. Darky Smith. Now let's have a look at a peach of a left-hander. There we go, wham! And there is from another angle. The American simply just wasn't expecting that, Jim.
No, Chris has got a great variety of shots, and you never know which one's coming next, and he throws from all sorts of different angles. And he's showing his repertoire tonight as early as the second round.
Well, he learned his early pro trade in America, and in America, of course, the style of fighting very different from the style of fighting over in Great Britain. They place great store on aggression. Very rarely see an American fighter throw a jab. They come in hooking at all angles. That's the classic American style of attack. And if we watch Malek, we might see that. Throws the odd jab, but they like to get in close and hook. Well, Malek taking 3 shots on the glove, the 4th got through. Well, you've got to give Malek credit, cagey pro that he is. He's trying to cut the ring off to Chris Eubank.
Even when Malek gets caught with a combination of shots, going back to what you just said about being a good pro, he doesn't change his expression at all. You know, real poker face and a real good solid professional. And Eubank's having to think things out. Well, when that right-hand body shot went in the American's mouth, just gaped open a little bit there.
Watch your head, son. Put your head up.
Eubanks tucks himself up in the corner, just slides along the ropes. Taking a few shots on his arms, gets out of trouble well. Quality fighter. Well, it's a hallmark of a good fighter that every single punch counts. There's no wasted shots at all. You can serve your energy. Every shot a scoring shot, and that's the way it should be. Right hand, that's a knockdown. Roy Francis telling Eubanks, get in a neutral corner. He's up at 8.
Eubanks is a good finisher.
Well, that was a corker of a right, and the American's got to struggle now to stay in this fight.
Yeah, I think Chrissy's going to unload and could do a number on him now.
Well, he's starting to unload now, is Chris Eubanks.
Full credit to the American. He's took a couple of good shots there and he's still hanging in there.
But he's starting to look tired and he's starting to look careworn. Here's Ron Malek, and he did take one good shot there, but he's got through that round. Well, we've got to give that round to Eubank by a full 1 round margin. Let's take another look at that knockdown. 3rd round, first knockdown of the contest came with a right hand, Jim.
Yeah, it was a good right hand, and it was picked bang on the button. He knew where it was going, and bang, just walked away as if to say, take that.
So in the Americans' corner, Greg Gorrell has got a bit of work to do, whereas in the Chris Eubank corner, I think all is sweetness and light. Well, comparatively speaking at the moment. That left eye still giving him a wee bit of trouble. Darky Smith working there with the adrenaline swab. No such magic concoctions as you get in America, just 1 in 1,000 parts adrenaline. That's all that's allowed by the British Boxing Board of Control. I remember a cutsman in America telling me once he could stop anything short of a total beheading. They put all sorts of gungeon over there, but not over here. Round 4, scheduled for 8. I don't think it's going to go 8, Jim, do you?
No, I think Chris is a world-class fighter, and I think he'll prove it. You know, that he's a step above people at this level. I think he'll take the guy out before the 8th round.
But you've got to give Ron Malek 10 out of 10, because I've seen a lot of American fighters, they come over here just to get the paycheck, see the changing of the guard, do some shopping and then go home. But he's putting up a good show. He hasn't come into this fight just to fall over and get it over with.
Yeah, if he'd just come his wages, I don't think he'd have bothered getting up, because he took a good right hand, but you know, he's still in there, and he's still looking to land one of his bombs himself.
And he has got a punch. Remember, of his 17 wins, 13 have come inside the distance, so I think Chris Eubank would be foolish to start taking liberties.
That can be a problem when you're as gifted as someone like Eubanks. You can be so far in front that your concentration can wane, and the old equaliser comes over and it's like that. He's still got to be on his toes.
Oh, another good right, and another, and the American once again under pressure and trying desperately to cover up in the middle of the ring. The Eubanks perhaps scenting the end is near, moving in for the kill now. He's got the American pinned on the ropes, a left hand goes in, and Eubanks really pouring it on now in this 4th round.
Took a good right hand back.
He did, and that's made him think just for a minute, and that's made him move up a gear. And that'll encourage the American, who gets through again with a left.
Full credit to the American. He took a couple of good wallops and come back with a big one of his own to just keep Chris thinking that, you know, it's not all one way, you've still got to have your wits about you.
I think the most surprised person in the hall was Chris Eubanks when the American did that. And Eubanks, for the first time in this fight, gets forced back.
But a quality performer.
Well, the American no mug, so congratulations to Barry Hearn and Darky Smith, matchmaker, for bringing them over.
Barry's good at getting the matches for the punters to look for.
The matches for the matchroom.
This is another good one, full credit.
And Eubanks off balance there. He's never really had to move out of 3rd gear in this fight yet, with the boy from Brighton, but there's no doubting that if he's careless, the American has shown he can catch him. But once again, Eubanks opens up in this 4th.
He can't get rid of him.
Inside the last 10 of this round. Remember, if there is a knockdown, the count continues after the bell, except in the last round. No knockdown, there is the bell. Better round for Malek, but I've still got to give it to Chris Eubanks.
The American give me a nod then at the end of the round, he'll just say, you know, I'm still here. And, you know, he's a proud fella, and full credit to him, because he took some good shots in that round.
Well, Eubanks, in that 4th, was pouring it on the American. Really must have thought the end was nigh, but he covered up well, and he managed to get through a couple of good shots of his own in this round. He was taking stick, but he was making Eubanks miss, and he was taking a lot of shots on his arms and on his gloves as well. But maybe the feeling in the Eubanks corner now from Darky Smith is maybe that Chris could and maybe should have won in that round.
Yeah, well, you know, Chris was looking to finish it there, and when he got nailed, I think it made him just think to himself, you know, what's the rush? I'm winning the fight. Let's take another round and just do things the Chris Eubanks way, with his style.
Well, we're into round 5. We're scheduled for 8. Vaseline from Eubanks' left eye. just get dislodged.
That was a good shot.
Well, every time Eubank lands a good shot, it seems to spur on Malek on, and he comes back and invariably gets in a couple of good digs of his own. Strong man.
Very, very strong. Durable character. But class will tell.
I could imagine that Chris Eubanks is the sort of fighter who could really now cause a stoppage in this fifth.
I think the
Now, he's got his man on the hook. Is he going to let him off? The American goes down. Roy Francis has seen enough, and that's a wise and humane stoppage in this fifth. It was the left hand that did the damage, and that's win number 16 out of 16 for Chris Eubanks from Brighton. Ron Malek, game, but ultimately outgunned. Put up a brave performance. Let's have another look at the end now. The American, I think it was really a cumulative effect of punches more than anything else. That was the right that started it. Yeah.
The contest to save Malek further punishment. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Eubank is the winner.
So Chris Eubanks does it again. Strikes a pose for the ringside photographers. And Ron Malek gets a very warm and very richly deserved round of applause too. Certainly not disgraced by becoming Chris Eubanks' 16th victim in 16 fights.
That seemed like Chris Eubanks executed exactly how he was going to finish that fight, and he was like an executioner when he went to work.
That's right. Once he saw he had the American in trouble, he did not waste a single punch. Every single one counted. So a fine performance by Chris Eubanks. I don't doubt we'll be seeing him again on a Matchroom promotion. We're going to take a short pause, and then we'll be back with another bonus fight here on Pro Box from Basildon.